and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a story time video after a really long time. I just mentioned this Thai haunted island in a Q&A recently, and a lot of you guys said you wanted to hear the story, so here it is. The main reason why I wanted to tell this story is because when you're traveling, especially when you're traveling alone, you have to realize that your instincts are turned up, and I want you to trust those instincts even when it doesn't make sense, even if you don't see any immediate threats, or when it even might be rude. Some person might be giving you like creepy vibes. Just get away from them. Don't stick around to find out why they are creepy. And also, if a place gives you a creepy vibe, please don't stick around why it is a creepy place because of this story. In 2015, in June, I was traveling in Thailand for a month. And I have to honestly say Thailand was a little bit different than I expected, because everybody told me that the people are super friendly and always willing to help you, which is true, but at the same time Thailand is flooded with tourists and not all of them are really friendly to the Thai. So Thai people are more business-like. That's what I've experienced. When I was there, I visited a couple of places. I flew into Chiang Mai from Hong Kong. I went to Krabi. After that, I went to Koh Phi Phi. And before I returned to Bangkok, I went to Koh Tao. If my dear viewer who was raving about this island is watching, I'm so sorry, but I really had a different experience. Some people really think it's a paradise island. For me, it was just such a creepy place. Our story starts when the boat arrives in the harbor. I had my backpack with me and I was walking, just trying to figure out how to get to my guest house. I didn't do my research beforehand, because usually in these kind of places you can ask in the local shops and you will find something better than some information that might be outdated online. So I was just walking around with that backpack. At one point I get to the main road and there is this big truck. They stop and they ask me like, where do you want to go? They're very common. They are called Songkrao, I think. Locally managed public transportation. And I tell them the name of my guest house. They say the price. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. This backpack is way too heavy to walk down there. I already saw on Google Maps that it was too far away. I get in there and immediately there's this like, in general, I have issues, I have to admit, with getting in cars with strangers, but there were other tourists in the back of the truck, so I kind of felt safe that they were there. But at the same time, I was already getting this weird vibe. I arrive at my guest house. My room is actually really nice. I felt at ease there. But this happened every time I tried to leave my room, which was really strange because I didn't experience this anywhere during my travels, not even just in Thailand. During all of my travels, I was always happy to go outside. At this guest house, every time I wanted to leave my room, I just felt that something was pulling me back, like, no, don't go outside, don't go outside. Not that I felt that something would immediately happen outside, but just this feeling that don't go outside. And it was very hard for me to get out of the room every single time. I would be laying there in the morning and thinking like, oh, I want to go to the beach. Koh Tao has really beautiful beaches. Then I would get showered and try to get out of the room, and I would get this feeling like, don't go, don't go. It was just super weird. By now you must be thinking like, Ivana, you're just tripping out, maybe you were tired. That's what I was thinking, my friends, but that's also why I'm telling you this story time. So obviously I went out, I chilled at the beach. In the evenings when I would walk around the party area, I would get this creepy vibe that if you're not careful here, something really dangerous might happen. And please keep in mind, I have already been to Chiang Mai, Krabi, Koh Phi Phi. I never had that feeling over there. I just had this feeling in Koh Tao. I would get to my room at around 9 p.m. because I was like, you know, let me just stay inside. At one point, I rent a scooter and I go scooting around the island, and I'm like, this is such a weird island. I don't know what it is. It's just so weird. It feels like there's a lot of evil here. I honestly didn't experience anything bad. Nobody ripped me off. Even when renting the scooty, I got a nice price and the tank was full. The scooty was perfectly fine. I got to a beach. I met a really nice English lady who was having the time of her life after having a divorce and everything. My stomach got upset. I did get sick, but that was my own fault. That's a whole other story time. In general, I couldn't understand why I was getting this creepy feeling, because nothing bad was happening. People, they were standoffish, but I was already kind of used to that. And I was thinking, you know, they just have this business mentality with foreigners. which is perfectly fine because not all foreigners are always nice, especially these kind of touristy places. At one point, I am walking down the main beach and I see these huge boulders, and I explicitly remember thinking, wow, that's kind of like a pretty place. I didn't feel anything there. I was just looking at the ocean and it just felt pretty. And these big boulders, I have never seen these kind of boulders before on a beach. So I thought it was pretty. I really enjoyed my walk there, but I definitely did feel that I should get to my room as soon as possible after the sun went down. And I did keep this feeling the whole week when I wanted to leave my room, that just don't go outside, don't go outside. I can honestly say during that week absolutely nothing happened, but when I left Koh Tao, I genuinely felt that this huge weight was just lifted off me. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right now. I was just so happy to leave that place, and I honestly, maybe just like you, thought I just went mental. I don't know what was wrong with me on that island, but I was so happy and so relieved to leave. I didn't want to offend any people because obviously a lot of people love that island. That's why I didn't tell the story, because I was just thinking that, you know, it's just me. Maybe sometimes you just don't vibe with a place and you should get over it. That's how I was thinking back then. Until I returned to the Netherlands. I just tried to forget about it. I was like, you know, we just didn't vibe, that's it. No reason to panic. I get home and a couple of months later, I was randomly browsing Facebook. And I'm almost never on Facebook, to be very honest. Somehow, I don't know why, I see the story, couple slaughtered in Koh Tao. And I'm like, what? I think it was 2 months before that I was there. I click on the article and I learn that Koh Tao is one of the biggest crime melting pots of Thailand. Because it is such a remote island, the central government of Thailand doesn't control it. There is like a local, let's call it a mafia. That's not what it is, but let's call it a mafia, who controls the island. There is a lot of drugs dealing. People get shot without any repercussions. So by that point, when I was reading that, I was like, oh, so that was kind of like the bad feeling that, oh, it's an evil place. It has a bad energy. Bad things happen here. And I was still not that disturbed. So I kept reading the story because the title said something different, right? Couple slaughtered on Koh Tao. And I start reading about this couple who was partying there. They don't know why, but they went with some people to the beach, and it's so creepy. It's so creepy. The girl was raped and they were both bludgeoned to death. Can you imagine? Like, their skull was beaten in. This is very graphic. There are pictures of this and I looked up those pictures. They're absolutely horrifying. I mean, I've seen dead people. I see dead people. No, I've seen, you know, dead people in movies. Have I ever seen an actual corpse? Not that I can recall now, but you know, when people are strangled or something, obviously it's shocking, but bludgeoned to death, like their skull was beaten in. The pictures were absolutely like horrible, absolutely horrible. While I was reading that, I genuinely made a promise to myself that whenever, ever again, a place would give me such bad vibes, I would just leave. Do not question your intuition, because you don't know why a place is not good for you. You don't know what might happen to you. Don't force yourself to go out in a place just because you have to or just because it's cool if you don't have a good feeling about it. It might cost you your life. Nothing happened to me. I'm not saying that anything would have happened to me. I'm just saying that my intuition and my gut feeling was telling me that this was a really bad place, that really bad things happened over here. And reading about the, you know, the crime status of the island and also what happened to this couple, I was literally standing there at the murder scene. Remember those boulders? Yep, that's where it happened. Absolutely horrible. I didn't feel anything at that crime scene. I just had like this bad vibe about the island. I would like to leave you with this advice. I already said it in the beginning, but I'm gonna repeat it again because it's so important, especially if you're traveling alone, but also if you want to travel with people who you just met and who are not giving you a very nice feelings. Please, 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 please do not ever compromise what your intuition is telling you or what your gut feeling is telling you. Your subconscious registers so much more about the world around you than you are able to process with your actual brain, like the active brain. You really need to trust it and don't take any risks just because you feel like, oh, I'm overreacting. There is no real proof or evidence that I'm in a dangerous situation. Maybe when other people are trying to make you feel bad, like, oh, don't be a wimp. Don't listen to them, because your gut feeling and your instinct always knows best, and it might actually save your life. After a really long time, this is another story time video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, put a thumbs up. Very soon there are going to be Hyderabad travel vlogs, and I'm going to give a TED talk. So if you would like to see that, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Obviously, if you would like more story times like this, let me know down in the comments below. I love sharing my experiences, which sometimes I don't feel like I can share in the moment because, you know, I might look crazy. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!